Today's topic, the ovarian cyst. Welcome to International Academy Germanische Heilkunde by Dr. Dr.Hamer, MD. My name is John Holledauer. At GHK Academy, I represent the original seminar program, according to Dr. Hamer, in the English language. In today's topic, we will be looking at the ovary, ovarian necrosis, ovarian cyst, endometriosis, but also infertility. The ovary belongs to the deluxe group, that is, the orange group. In the orange group, the biological sense does not occur immediately in the active phase, but only at the end of the healing phase. This means I must first resolve the conflict and survive the healing phase in order to benefit from the biological sense. In return, however, one then benefits from the biological function enhancement for a lifetime. That is why Dr. Hamer called this group the deluxe group. In all other special programs, the biological sense is in the active phase. The cause, that is, the biological conflict content, in the case of the ovaries, is a conflict of loss for something alive, a human being or an animal. Loss means loss by death or departure. The handedness is decisive here. If one has a loss around the partner ovary is involved. In case of a loss around the mother or the own child, the mother-child ovary is involved. Depending on how one feels about a pet or an animal will determine how the experiences of loss is perceived, either as a partner or as a child. In the conflict active phase, the ovary necrotizes, thus causes cell loss, and the estrogen decreases. If there is a double loss conflict about partner or mother-child, both ovaries are affected. The estrogen dries up and the woman has no more ovulation, which is one of the possibilities of infertility in women. If the conflict can be resolved, a fluid-filled cyst is formed on the ovary, which attaches to the surrounding organs to supply itself with blood. This cyst is filled with fluid tissue, which has a very high cell division rate, and is therefore considered particularly malignant by conventional medicine. In the case of syndrome, the cyst can become additionally large and possibly even burst. The contained cells then attach themselves to the organs of the abdominal cavity, which conventional medicine calls endometriosis. However, these cells also remain true to their purpose and produce estrogen. Beyond this, they do nothing. Like pregnancy, the healing phase lasts 9 months, regardless of the size of the cyst. Only towards the end of the healing phase does the fully encapsulated cyst detach from the surrounding tissue, which causes pulling pain and the last verve of this 9-month healing phase. Of course, the uninformed patients then panic and run to the conventional physician. The doctor then sees cell division, makes the diagnosis malignant, and cuts out the patient's ovaries. The fatal effect of chemo should only be mentioned here. After 9 months, this compact cyst is only connected to the initially ovary. We speak here of a healing cyst. Suppose the conflict has lasted for a long time. In that case, this can lead to a correspondingly large ovarian cyst, which can now be surgically removed, if the cyst should be that large that it interferes mechanically. The crisis is a cerebromedullary crisis. These crises are inconspicuous. One is called, that's all it is. The woman now has far more estrogen than ever before, which is the biological sense of this at the end of the healing phase, but from which the woman now benefits for the rest of her life if the cyst is not cut out, provided that the size of this ovarian cyst does not disturb anything. All is well again, and the patient is healthy. Because of the increased estrogen, the woman now looks 10 to 15 years younger and has an increased libido. She can now get pregnant very quickly to make up for her loss. However, the women with her ovarian cyst also have a much more feminine physique, making her look more desirable to any man. No woman who knows germanische Heilkunde will have this biological advantage surgically cut out. Our case study. We once made a night sailing trip and we arrived in Trinidad at sunrise. In the passage between two islands we had 5 knots of countercurrent and high waves. Pebbles, our Yorkie dog, chased the pelicans circling our boat back and forth across the deck. About an hour after we dropped the anchor, we noticed that Pebbles was gone. We had lost her somewhere, despite of the railing net. For my wife, this dog was like her first child. She broke down emotionally and could not calm down. How just could we have lost our Pebbles? Although finding a small dog in the open sea after hours is hopeless, with the countercurrent we was confronted between the islands, I finally gave in to my wife's urging, and we set out to look for Pebbles. A miracle has happened. After about 3 hours in the water, we found our Pebbles again in the pouring rain. This allowed my wife to resolve her loss conflict, which was active for only a few hours, but very intense. About 6 months later, Natalie had pain around her ovaries. That felt similar to menstrual pain. After a few weeks, this pain subsided and we gave it no further attention. It wasn't until 2 years later, on her 31st birthday, that various people assured us that my wife looks younger than her mid-20s. They couldn't believe that she was already 33. Only then does the thought of an ovarian cyst cross our minds. We didn't have to think long before we found a matching conflict. A few months later, Natalie had the opportunity to have this self-diagnosis confirmed by an ultrasound. An ovarian cyst as big as an hazelnut on her left ovary. My wife considers this cyst a gift of nature, and we are both pleased about it. This case study has 2 interesting aspects. First, if Natalie has been asked if she have lost a loved one or an animal through death or departure, she would have denied it with certainty. And yet she must have suffered such a conflict and also resolved it, because otherwise she would not have an ovarian cyst. As I said, germanische Heilkunde is about biological conflicts. This is the cause, and it must be found. We lost our dog for a few hours, and the prospect of finding her again was 0. Natalie had a loss conflict for these few hours with her mother-child ovary active. Second, the other interesting circumstance is how this ovarian cyst affects my wife. Natalie has something of her sensible biological special program from the deluxe group, while the pure patients in conventional medicine are entirely deprived of their femininity. With germanische Heilkunde, neither doctor nor medicine stands between you and your health. No doctor can heal, and no medicine can cure. Continue to study germanische Heilkunde. Maybe already tomorrow you might need this knowledge. Goodbye. Until the following video.
Germanische Heilkunde is considered by those who have understood its underlying principles to be the most significant discovery in known human history. While conventional medicine is based on more than 5,000 hypotheses, germanische Heilkunde can be proven at any time to be the only medicine that is scientifically verifiable. With germanische Heilkunde, for the first time in recorded human history, there is a scientifically verifiable medicine for each patient case. More than 30 medical universities have already confirmed this in the past. Still, Dr. Hamer's discoveries have been suppressed and denigrated for over 40 years. Take your health into your own hands and learn germanische Heilkunde while you are still healthy. For this purpose, the GHK International Academy offers you an extensive program of seminar tutorials from the basics through the organ level to the psychoses. This seminar program will change your relationship with your body and your health once and for all. You will find the direct link to the homepage of the GHK International Academy below the video.